Welcome back. So in preparation for hopefully getting this roof chase installed or bonded in by the end of the week, I had to do a few different things on here. So one of the things I did was create the holes there and put in the nut plates for where the mounting is for the handle for the parachute. And you can see those little rivets are sort of going to be visible there because that's the bracket we're using. So I've got a bit of aluminum there that I just showed you that I'm going to use and create like a little standoff there just to cover those, and then you'll have those two bits going across the top and then the hardware that goes through that, and I need to get longer hardware for that. And then ultimately there's a red anodized aluminum handle that goes through there, and then that's the handle that gets screwed onto the end, so that'll live there and it'll be kind of like a little bit behind you, and then the cord from that will run backwards through the console and then out through the back pressure bulkhead into the engine compartment. And also on the front of the chase here, I've put the nut plates in there for where the mounting brackets are for the visors, and you know, we're using the these clear visors, are aftermarket ones, so that's how those are going to go. And again, I got to get the right hardware for that. Those screws are too long. And also too, we're machining or remaking those things so they don't stick out quite so much there. We don't need that extra angle thing that offers, that bracket offers. But anyway, there's the visor there, as you can see, still got the protective covering on it there. But anyway, that's how that's going to go. And as I said, this bracket is a little too long, so we got Brit lined up to just quickly turn a new one on the lathe that doesn't have that center section, so it'll be a little tighter to the roof. And the next thing is these sort of little nut plate things that are for the overhead lights, and so I've just cut little notches out of those, just 3 of them, so I can bond those into place and they won't move, because the idea is if you need to remove the lights, you could just unscrew them and the backing nuts won't move. So that's kind of how that's going to be, and a little bit of resin and flux mixture there, and then they're all bonded into place. And back into the fuselage, and one of the last steps after all this door hook receiver sort of fiasco was to close back out, where I had to cut out those floor braces there. So you see I've fitted a bit of foam in there, and then I roughed it, and then Jeff sort of finished it off and got it nicely fitted and ready to have the layup put on there. So there's obviously 2 of those, one on either, two on either side. So there's the one from the other side, that's the rear one, and the one I showed you just now was the front one. So it didn't take too long to fit the foam in there. It's just a little bit of, you know, sanding and with the orbital sander thing, just to trim them down to size and make them fit in the little opening. But there you can see Jeff's got one side already done, and he's just working on getting the other side finished off. So that's the last of patching there, where we've had to do the hook receiver boxes. And the next step in preparation for the roof chase was to get some of this wiring sorted out in the roof there. So basically I've got the wiring in there for the overhead lights, and I've just put basically these little plastic connectors on there so I can disconnect each one if I need to. And you see I've gone and put them on there as well, so pretty easy. If we need to pull those out, we can pull them out. And see I've also created a slot there and a hole down this end here for where the parachute actuation cable is going to run through, and I had to make that slot quite large in order to feed the handle through once that roof chase is up in place. And so the next thing is drilling the holes for the receivers. So there's that little fixture thing that I created out of aluminum the other day, and there I've got like a little sleeve that we had actually lying around from before, and it just happens to fit the 5/16 inch drill bit. And so the idea is here that basically, you know, I bolt this thing into place, and then you see one already done, but I bolt that onto the door lock, and it's already sort of lines up there for where the receiver needs to be. So I put my little sleeve in there, and that gives me a nice straight run, so the drill bit's not going to move around when I run it, and put the drill in there, and away you go. And there's the finished product there, and as you can see, people who are paying a lot of attention will notice that we've also trimmed off the edges of that upper layup as well, so it's all nice and neat and tidy now, and the door closes there with just enough gap there. But anyway, we've got a nice really solid mounting spot now for where the receiver pins are going to be, and those are just going to be some clevis pins that I still have to get you know, the right hardware for that. But anyway, just to show you, here's a 5/16 inch bolt, AN5, just to show you kind of how that's going to work. But the clevis pin will fit in there and be the right length. And the hook comes in there on the lock and then just basically rotates into place and is going to grab the clevis pin, and then with the over center mechanism it will lock there, and there's no way for it to come undone when you've got the door latch done. So anyway, that's another thing that's all done now, and next up is getting the roof chase put in. So hopefully by the end of the week we'll see that one. So that's our update for the first half of this week, and thanks again for watching.